So you want to travel for a living? On my channel, I try to encourage you to do just that with inspiring stories and practical tips. But something I don't talk about often is all the pressures, hardships, and anxieties that come with this lifestyle.
It's so windy and the dust is blowing everywhere. I can't see.
Having spent the last 11 years traveling to every country in the world, here are the 5 worst parts about traveling for a living. Number 5, getting sick. Let me tell you from personal experience, it is awful to go to foreign hospitals in different countries because A, they might not speak the language, B, they might prescribe you medication that you've never heard of before, and C, it's just not a comfortable feeling. Today I want to talk to you about traveler's diarrhea because I have a bad case of it. Whenever you're sick, you probably want to be home in your own bed, in your own country, dealing with your own doctors and on your own health insurance. So it is really a disaster to get sick. And so to try to prevent it, bring all the medications that you can from home. I literally carry a bag about this big of all kinds of medications. I've never had any issues bringing them across borders because of course people always understand if you have any medical conditions. 9 times out of 10, when I'm sick abroad, it's from food poisoning, and it's usually from the water that is contaminated or from fruits or vegetables that weren't properly washed. I recommend getting your hands on a medication called ciprofloxacin. It is literally like a wonder drug for your stomach. Just take it once and it will make your diarrhea go away and you will start to feel better. In the end, I guess getting sick is a risk that we all take. So just try your best, try to eat foods that you think you'll be able to digest well. But most importantly, just enjoy the trip. And just know if you do get sick, it's not the end of the world. It's usually 24 hours. Number 4, sacrificing relationships. All your friends and family back home and even significant others if you're doing long distance relationships, it's really hard when you're always on the road and you're dealing with time zones. I mean, listen, Skype is great or Zoom is great. It can only go so far. I mean, really being with someone, especially your parents, you know, I'm really close to my family, so it's been really hard for me in the past 11 years to maintain that really close connection. But I will be honest, I message them every day and I do FaceTime them. So traveling in today's day and age is a lot easier. But I guess if you're a traveler or other travelers that I speak to, they tend to say the same thing. It's like your mind is being adapted to all these crazy new experiences and new smells and new friends. But when you go home, it's all the same. Number 3 is getting visas. I'm very lucky to have a US passport. I can visit 186 countries without needing a visa. I realized that if you're from other countries, like my wife's from the Philippines, it's a lot harder to get visas. Even with a US passport, the countries that are hard to visit are extremely hard to visit, like Iran, like Russia, Venezuela, Afghanistan, Syria, Somalia, South Sudan, Libya. Libya is the hardest visa to get. Those hoops are really hard to cross, and when you're traveling a lot, you always have to be going into foreign embassies, getting the paperwork, showing your bank statement, getting a doctor's note that you're okay to travel, convincing them in interviews, in meetings with diplomats and ambassadors of those countries that you're okay, that you're gonna come back safe. I got the visa. If you're just traveling in Europe, you get a Schengen visa, which allows you to visit like 28 European countries on one visa. If you're going to a little more off the beaten places, getting visas has always been a struggle. And it's probably the number 1 hardest thing when you visit every country in the world is patience to get visas. If you're American, you can actually have 2 US passports at the same time, which I have. You can qualify for it by just getting an interview and explaining to them that you travel a lot for work and you need 2 passports. So you can be traveling with one while the other one is in the Chad embassy or the Sudan embassy here in the US getting the visas. Number 2 is body maintenance. So it might look like that I'm in shape or that I've maintained a decent weight, but I don't really feel healthy. You know, traveling full time for a living, you're eating airport food, hotel food, going out to random places, MSG, bacteria, like all that stuff is not healthy. I mean, the healthiest thing you can do is go to the supermarket and cook at home, which I never do. I actually tried it recently in the RV video that I made in Utah, but that was kind of a bust. Granted, I walk a lot, maybe 10 to 12 miles a day when I travel, which is really good. Walking's underrated. I play golf when I can. I'm very active and I'm very athletic, but I don't necessarily work out. Now, of course, I could do more push-ups when I travel, or I could do pull-ups, or I could go to the gym. I just don't prioritize that. I don't have time. But yeah, body maintenance is a big struggle of mine. Number 1, stress and anxiety. Oh my God, I don't know where to start with this one. I always say this, but taxis are when you're most vulnerable to getting kidnapped, mugged, or anything bad happening to you. Because think about it, you're in a foreign country, you're in somebody's car, your phone probably doesn't work, you don't know the layout of the land, they do. And it's happened to me in Tunisia. I had a problem with a taxi driver, and in Bulgaria, I was scammed. In Iraq, I was thrown into a police station for just shooting on my GoPro. I'm in the police station right now in Iraq. That was crazy. If you're traveling to Iceland or Norway or Italy, you're probably not gonna have these issues, but just know that the stress will come, and it's almost impossible to avoid. I've traveled full time with my other buddies, Alvaro, Lee, and all of us have that same kind of built-in anxiety just from all the situations and the bureaucracy and the corruption that we've dealt with. But it's all fun and games. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed hearing about some of the hardships, because most of my videos are positive, and I think it's great to show the other side of the story. Hit me up on Instagram at Drew Binsky. I would love to chat with you guys, and make sure to check out this video video. If you like this one, I think you'll like that one. All right, guys, see you next week. Peace.